What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Back with my original segment, Boxingego's First Look, a tale of the tape, a sneak peek, a preview of the fight before the fight. Now, January 28th, MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. It goes down. You have two great title fights. Main event, a rematch we all want to see. Carl Frampton defending his title as new champion in a new weight division against Leo Santa Cruz in a rematch. First fight was definitely exciting. One of the best fights of 2016. Definitely a lot of people had it as fight of the year. And the co-main event is the video you guys seen and clicked on for the tail of the tape. And that's former champion Mikey Garcia challenging WBC champion at lightweight. And that's Dejan Zlaticanin. Again, January 28th, courtesy of Showtime. Shout out to Showtime. Getting it done. Showtime early. First month of the year, 2017. A new year. And their calendar's looking pretty full with a lot of great fights. Now, I'm looking forward to this card. Again, you got two title fights in the co-main event. Mikey Garcia, Dejan Zlaticanin. Two unbeaten fighters. Somebody's O has to go. And it's an important fight. See, a lot of people, you gotta learn to analyze boxing. Mikey Garcia is a very good fighter and technical fighter, but you have to keep in mind he was on the shelf for 2 years, maybe even over 2 years. He was dealing with the lawsuit with Top Rank, his former promoter, and it took 2 years to resolve. He decided to stand his ground and stand up for what he believed in, and ultimately it came to a close just last year, and he finally got a fight where he fought Elias Rojas on a co-main event, and he got a knockout. I think it might have been Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, part 1, and he got a knockout. That fight was at 140. His opponent, Rojas, wasn't a natural 140-pounder, a guy that moved up, but I think Mikey Garcia, since he had been off for 2 years, he wanted to gradually work his way back down in weight because he probably picked up some pounds just being stagnant and not having any fights. And the fight was contracted at 140, but this title fight is at lightweight, 135, and he's fighting a champion, a hard-hitting champion. Some people may not know the name, but I started hearing his name a while ago, so I did my research a long time ago on Dejan Zlaticanin. He's an undefeated fighter, and his nickname is Dynamite. He has a high KO percentage, 68%, so he has power. I seen him on Showtime he was on the undercard, and he had a knockout in that win. A couple fights ago, he fought for a vacant WBC belt, and he won it. And I'm looking forward to it. He's a southpaw, and he's originally from Montenegro. Good fight, Mikey Garcia. Again, you got to put things in perspective. Mikey Garcia is a very talented and technical fighter. I've watched all his fights in the lower divisions, but you have to keep in mind, though, those were fights in the lower divisions. This will be obviously the best opponent that he has fought north of 130 pounds, right? And that's what he's fighting at since he came back. Before his standout performances, his big step up was Orlando Salido. He knocked him down 4 times. Very good fight, very good performance. Salido started to get a second win a little bit, and unfortunately the fight was stopped a bit untraditionally because Mikey Garcia suffered a broken nose. Salido's just real rugged and rough and came in crazy with his head and broke Mikey Garcia's nose, and he wasn't able to continue. But aside from that, Garcia looked really good in that fight. He went on to fight guys like Juanma Lopez, stopped him. He fought Juan Carlos Burgos, and I think he probably would have gotten a stoppage based on his skill, but Burgos, he didn't fight like himself. He fought kind of tentative when he started seeing how good Garcia was. And I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Mikey Garcia right around that time after he just became champion. I think he was going into the Burgos fight. He's no stranger to boxing. He comes from a fight family. His dad, his brother is a trainer, trained Maidana. At one point was training Brandon Rios. He's a former fighter himself. Roberto Garcia. They're a family from Oxnard. Fernando Vargas. So he was training with them at one point. So it's a fight family. The Garcias are no stranger to boxing. And Mikey Garcia got into it himself. When I interviewed him, he was telling me about his early sparring days when he was probably a teen, I would say. And he was sparring Edwin Valero, who the late great champion, power puncher. And there's wars. There's a rumor that Edwin Valero was beating up on Oscar De La Hoya before one of his big fights and gave him a black eye and got ran out of camp because he was hitting so hard, and it just wasn't a confidence builder for De La Hoya. And we know Oscar De La Hoya is a tough fighter. He has a chin, and he also is an Olympic gold medalist. So that's good sparring work, especially if you're a teenager. And Mikey Garcia was sparring this guy, Edwin Valero. Rest in peace. So overall, it's a good fight. It's just kind of a coming of age type of fight for Mikey Garcia, who has had a long layoff. You have to factor that in. Sometimes it takes a couple of fights to get things right, get things in order, and he's not giving himself that. He's had one fight after 2 years, and that was last year, and he's already going in to the fire fighting a champion with power. So he's that confident in his ability and his skill, even at a new division, that he's willing to risk his O in fighting Zlaticanin. So it's a good fight. Zlaticanin, his resume, the best names on his resume, he won over Ivan Redkach. He stopped him, and Redkach is a fighter from Ukraine. He got schooled by my dude Tevin Farmer, but he didn't get stopped by Tevin Farmer. And he was a guy whose name was being mentioned. He also went over to Glasgow, Scotland, and he fought Ricky Burns, former champion. Actually, he's a current champion too, but he fought Ricky Burns, and he won that fight too, split decision. So those are the best names on Dejan Zlaticanin's resume. Now, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Two undefeated fighters. Dejan Zlaticanin, WBC champion, has a perfect record of 22-0. Mikey Garcia, more fights, also unbeaten with a record of 35-0. The age, it goes to Mikey Garcia. He's the youthful fighter. He's the younger fighter in the equation. He's 28 years old. Dejan Zlaticanin is 32. Now, this is a very important statistic. We know how good Mikey Garcia is technically. Obviously, he's moving up in weight, and Mikey Garcia is listed at 5'7" at lightweight. Dejan Zlaticanin has a more compact frame. He's only 5'4" tall, but he has power. So sometimes being the shorter fighter can work to your advantage, i.e. Mike Tyson. Tyson was a fighter who was able to get in close and use his stout type of height to his advantage. We'll see what Zlaticanin can do against a technical guy who also has power. Mikey Garcia can crack. And this fight is taking place at 135 pounds, the lightweight division. The reach advantage also goes to Mikey Garcia, who's new to the division. He has a 68-inch reach to Dejan's 65-inch reach. All in all, somebody's O has to go. This is a very good fight on a very good card. Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, and then you have another title fight at lightweight. What I like about this particular fight at lightweight is it helps shape the division. You have unification options with new champion, IBF champion, Robert Easter Jr. of Toledo. He has a hometown fight in February, so next month, and if he gets past that, maybe the winner of this fight can fight Robert Easter Jr. of Adrian Broner's About Billions. Ah man, you know, AB, About Billions promotion. You also have a fight that was recently announced, a rematch between champion Jorge Linares and Anthony Crolla. And I think it might be happening in the UK again. And the winner of that fight will be a champion. So maybe they can unify with the winner of this particular fight. So there's some noise at the lightweight division. You look at the division when, let's say, Adrian Broner was looking destructive at 135, or Terrence Crawford. The division, after they fought maybe a couple of guys, 2 or 3 guys, there weren't really any big fights out for them. That's why both of them decided to move up. Broner jumped up 2 weight classes and moved up to the full 147, fought Paulie Malignaggi, then Maidana, and then Terrence Crawford moved up to 140, fought Thomas Delorme, Hank Lundy, unified with Victor Postal, and then recently fought John Molina Jr. But now there are some names with power, with skill. Mikey Garcia is skilled, Robert Easter's skilled, Dejan Zlaticanin, obviously he's skilled, he's the current champion. So a lot of options for unification, and for that reason I'm really looking forward to it. Start 2017 off right with a meaningful fight and overall a meaningful card. I think this card will deliver entertainment value. It's on Showtime. If you don't have Showtime, I would recommend you get it, because Showtime has a monster schedule, including Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman. You have the return of Adrian Broner fighting another Adrian Granados. Before this fight, and I did a Boxingego first look on it, you have Badou Jack, WBC champion with the Money Team. He's fighting IBF champion James DeGale, Olympic gold medalist. And on that same card, you have another TMT fighter who shows all the promise in the world, power puncher. All but one of his fights have ended via knockout, and that's Gervonta Tank Davis challenging IBF champion Jose the Sniper Pedraza. So January's stacked. Showtime is stacked. The next couple of months, they got us covered. Also, Vladimir Klitschko challenging IBF champion Anthony Joshua. Showtime is picking that up in the States. Unless you live in the UK, you have to get it on Sky Sports. A lot of great action with the Showtime network. Let me know who you think wins this fight. Mikey Garcia, first fight at lightweight, and Dejan Zlaticanin, will he be able to keep his title? You drop that in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.